Geek, and I'm joined by myself. Actually, Steven's going to be coming a little bit later. He's just on his way. But right now it's just me, and gives me time to talk without without any interruptions, I guess. I'll quickly say hi to the chat. Hi, Louis. Hi, K Munin, Andreas, and hi, Lyle, and hey, Matt. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to actually show some pretty cool stuff, even with or without Steven. So first thing I got to do is a little bit of housekeeping. So this weekend on Saturday, I am going to be doing a live stream, um, and I'm going to be showcasing my Kickstarter. So it's going to start. I'm officially launching the Kickstarter on Saturday. So I'm just doing all the final preps to get this Kickstarter going, where it will be launching my comic book. So pretty big news. I've seen the last little bits of the artwork. There's still like a few things I haven't finished, so I'm just waiting for that. But it's I think it's pretty much done. All the content has been written. I finished all the content over the weekend. I was like just waiting. So uh, yeah, pretty much everything is ready. It's just now putting it all together and then launching the Kickstarter. So the way it works is when you do a Kickstarter, really what we're doing is asking for funding. It's like begging for money, basically. So we basically ask for money to basically buy the comics, right? To buy the comic. If you buy the comic, then we can actually print the comics. So it's going to be the case where hopefully it will pay for itself. I've actually put a lot of money into it, believe it or not. It's expensive. We got some pretty great artists involved, actually. We got some pretty big names. I was kind of impressed. So we got some pretty good names associated with the comic, and they've done some pretty phenomenal artwork. So it's going to be a pretty cool thing once it's launched, and that's on Saturday. So really, it's now about getting that funding so that we can do the print. We'll see how many comics get printed. I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty low print run, like maybe a few hundred comics per different. There's going to be a bunch of different covers, of course. That's how it all works nowadays. It's variant covers, but it's going to be a pretty cool set of comics, and we're going to have like a few, risque ones and a few more innocent ones as well. But the point is, we're going to be launching on Saturday. I'll have a live stream. I'll know more specifically what time I'll have the live stream on Friday. So if you watch Friday's video, I'm going to do a shorter live stream with Stephen on Friday, and I'll invite some other people. I'll get into the details about when the Saturday live stream will happen. So yeah, it'll be some pretty good stuff. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, and the way the book is, as I said in previous videos about it, the book is going to have 14 different Golden Age characters and their profiles and some pinups. It's basically a pinup book at the end of the day. But it gives like a real insight into these characters where you get to know their stats, know their origins, know what key issues to pick up for them. And it's like a cool, Cole's notes of these Golden Age characters, basically. So yeah, it's going to be called Vixens of the Golden Age. That's the official name that we've come up with. So it should be a pretty cool comic, and that's what's happening on Saturday. So that's kind of the big thing. Oh, and I'm now, with all that housekeeping out of the way, Stephen has come. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, how are you?
So yeah, I was just getting into a little bit about the comic. The official launch is going to be on Saturday,
Okay.
and it's going to be. So I'm going to do a launch party on Saturday, like just sort of like a launch party where I where I kind of promote it. Also, I'm looking for anyone that's watching the stream. If you guys have a channel and I can go there and be interviewed by you and pitch my comic at that. That's another thing I'm asking of the people watching. So yeah, so basically I want to shill as much as possible this comic.
Now, please, what you want to say is, I look forward to showing you after all my hard work what a beautiful book it is, and I'm sure you'll all want to see it and
Mhm,
want to have it. I know I do. And
mhm,
I wouldn't soft pedal. I think that it's you worked your butt off to get this thing done, Alan, and
mhm.
you
Yeah,
have
it's been a year.
you have exacting standards for art,
Mhm,
and of course you do for the content because you're the one
mhm.
that's
I
providing most
wrote
of
it.
the content.
I wrote the
You
content.
wrote it, so I mean, as far there's no shilling involved. I think that you have a good product. I think it's first of several. I hope.
So I'm going to give you a hint of one of the cool artists. Oh, well, not a hint. I'm going to actually tell you one of the cool artists that's involved. And I have to show you a book in order to do it. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this book, but we'll see.
Well, I am indeed.
Yeah, so I'm getting Larry Wells to be is one of the artists involved. Uh, and he's doing Bullet Girl.
Oh, that'll be so cool. That'll
It's
be
really
so
it's really cute. It's like
Oh, I like that's great,
it's
man.
like
Now, is that for this one or is that gonna be for the second one?
this for this one. That's for
Oh,
this one.
man, well, that's for that alone.
Yeah.
Are you going to have any that are signed by all the artists, like signed copies?
I
Are
don't
you
know
going
if I
to have
can.
any that
I
are
don't
then
know if we can get that. So I don't know how that works, but I can
well, then
ask.
also are you going to provide slabs for people? Say you want a 9/8 slab and you will provide
So
we
that
can buy
happens
slabs
after.
for you?
That happens after. So I guess the guy that I'm doing this with, he's done that in the past where he's done these kind of CGC like limited to 10 copies kind of thing. We're gonna have those limited to 10 copy covers. But the issue is we can't get CGC slabbing and all. It's logistically kind of awkward because you got to send it off to CGC and it just takes too much time. So what we're gonna do is we'll do the Kickstarter with all this stuff, but later on we'll have like post sales, I guess what it'll be like of the slabs. You can buy the slabs later, or I'll actually do some as giveaways and stuff like that. So there will be
Okay.
a bit of that, you know what I mean? Like we're
Oh, I know exactly what you mean, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Bleeker.
Hi, Bleak.
You mentioned the same line last time, Bleeker.
Yeah, what did you just cut
Yeah,
and paste?
yeah, it's like cut and paste, man.
That's not
You gotta,
that isn't fresh at all.
yeah, you gotta be better with your insults. Like, be
Hell,
creative. Be creative.
your slurs have to be fresh, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So,
You know,
in terms,
I just walked through the door.
I could tell. I could tell. Like
I
people were like,
just
"Oh, it
walked
must be windy where Steven is."
well, no, I did. I just walked through the door, and they took forever. And dealing with medical stuff is
Mhm.
such a mess. And then
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
there for blood pressure, and of course, whenever I'm in the hospital, my blood pressure always spikes. I mean, that's
yeah,
like
yeah,
how, it's there's nothing more relaxing than being in a
yeah.
hospital
It's like we're
office.
poking you.
Yeah,
What's wrong with
well,
your
and
blood
then they
pressure?
say, "Now just relax," and then they put the cuff on your arm, and the chair I'm sitting in is probably one of the most uncomfortable chairs, so you can't
Mhm.
get comfortable,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then the thing ratchets up to warp factor 9. It's like it's just if
And
it
your
does
hands going numb and
my hands going numb, and then they did this was a new one today. They
Hmm.
have the thing where it cycled 3 times.
Oh, okay. I
Okay, it
guess
cycled 3 times so that they could have an
average.
average of it.
Yeah. Okay,
And
that makes sense.
so the first one they took was high, the second one was lower, and then the third one was about the same. But we have a very high end cuff here.
Yes, I do believe that
Well,
is what it fits
it's so
into.
true. It is, and they said, "Well, we just want to make sure that you." And I said, "Well, I provided them. I had my wife's an LPN, so she basically has taken my blood pressure here at home when I'm relaxed, and it's it's fine. It's perfect actually."
hmm Yeah, see, that's another method. My that's why my brother does actually. He has a blood pressure machine. He just takes it.
So,
Um,
so then what they're going to do now is they want me to bring in the cuff that we use. and
Mhm.
see if it says the same stuff at the hospital as it does at, in other words, whatever they
Home.
read, it'll read the same. And I bought a good one because there's no point having a cheeseburger for a cup. I pulled in my driveway, and there
Mhm.
was my mail gal back from vacation.
Okay.
Alan, I have 10 boxes on top of all the rest of them.
Okay, so I was kind of worried about your mail girl, actually. I was wondering, she might have like, some kind of bad back or
No,
some
she
kind
doesn't
of
have a.
like
I walked out to
some
the truck.
issues.
No, no, no. I walked out to the truck, and these are
She's like
just
gonna
funny books.
sue you for like damages or something
This
for all
this
the
is
stuff
not
that you have to carry.
Alan. This is not my bowling ball collection.
So yeah, okay. So by the way, I actually got a package today in the mail.
Good.
This is something delivered from Canada. So yeah, so there's that. And then I actually picked up some books from I went to a convention on the weekend. So
Right.
I have a bunch of stuff to show as well. And I've already babbled about my comic as well. So we can get into it and show some books. Do you have them ready or do you want me to show
I
some
I
stuff?
ha- I can start slicing and dicing
Okay.
right now. That
So
just a second,
what?
just a second. What?
Check the chat.
Oh
Oh,
yes, we're gonna check the
Susan
chat.
said
Okay.
check the chat.
Okay, so while you're slicing and dicing, I will check the chat. How about that? Okay,
Okay.
so we got, yeah, this is people saying hi. Okay, Susie. Okay, yes, hi, Susie. See, the reason she said check the chat is she said hi and nobody said hi to her. So she's very sad. So hi, Susie. Okay,
Hmm.
and then, Lyle, your blood pressure is really good. That's actually, mine's actually lower than that. I have really low blood pressure naturally. So, but that's really
121
healthy.
121.62 was what I registered here at home.
Oh, that's really good too. Um, oh, okay. See, he's somebody's got some zombie tramp. That's always good. Um, uh, okay. And then I'm just flipping through the chats here. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. And then hi, Susie. See, everyone said hi, Susie. So there. Okay, now we've gone through the chats. I'm going to show some books while you're
I actually
unboxing.
have one I can show you.
Oh, okay, you can show one then. Okay, so this is Steven's first box unopened. Oh, okay. I if I had it handy, I'd pull out I believe that's from Creepy. That's the cover from Creepy.
And this is a Frazetta cover, and
Mhm.
it is the reverse. It is the inverse, so that the King Kong is in her hand, and she is the monster, and
Mhm.
she doesn't have. She is scantily clad.
Yes.
This is quite a. This is actually it's really beautiful. New York nudists.
New York Nudist.
100 pages of BD.
Hi, Jerry.
Hello, Jerry. 100 pages of BD.
Oh, Jerry, if you want, you can join us on Friday.
Friday.
Friday, I'm opening it up to everybody. Everybody that wants to join is free for all.
Welcome.
It's a battle royale on Friday nights.
And I also have to show you,
Okay.
Alan,
Okay.
because on account of this is a parcel from Bleecker Street Comics,
Oh, okay.
and I opened it because he sent books to us for our grandson, and he had some
Oh,
tour
by the
off.
way, just so you know, BD stands for Bande Dessinée.
What does that mean?
French for comics. It's comics. Just means comics. Dessinée
Why do
is
they have
design
two words for comics?
because they're French.
I
You need
guess
to
you. I
ask.
guess you say we have two words too because it's comic books. I guess you'd
Comic
have to
books,
give.
yeah.
I'll give him that.
Hmm.
The first one I had. So anyway, but Susie wanted to take a look what the kids were going to get and what Luke was going to get, and very cool stuff. The Space Family Robinson and stuff. Susan thought that the print in the digest was rather small. I said, not for them, it isn't. I mean, they're a lot closer to it than it didn't look all. It doesn't look bad at all. They look good. Okay, the first one I got from him is Fantastic Four Antithesis #2, and it is the first full appearance of Antithesis, timeless variant cover and virgin cover, and it has the Silver Surfer.
Oh, nice. I think I've seen that one before. I don't have it, but it's a nice one. And who did it?
Who did it? Who did it?
Well, it
Alex
says on the
Ross.
front. Alex Ross.
Alex
That's what
Ross.
I would have saw. Yeah, it looks like his style.
And 9/8 white pager.
Okay.
And then the other one I got was one that he really was not all that sweaty to sell, but he was trying to raise, was my benefit because he's trying to raise money
It
for
looks like an Oscar. Oh, it looks like an Oscar.
that he is going to go to
Mhm.
a convention coming up. Matter of fact, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He's going, and he is going to see the guy that does the Crow, Obar.
Oh yeah,
And if
Brian O'Barr. Yeah.
you guys are not familiar, Bleeker looks like the Crow, absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
He has it down, all the way down, completely down. And so he's going to try and get pictures taken with him in his Crow regalia,
Mhm.
and take pictures and what have you. So that'll be a lot of fun. But this one, he grudgingly sold
Oh,
it.
James O'Barr. Why did I say
James
Brian?
Hobart. Thank you, Bleak.
Brian. Oh, I'm saying random names.
Damn, it's Sam O'Bar. This is Teenage Mutant Turtles: The Last Ronin #1 from IDW. It is the Bermuda's variant cover in a 9/8 virgin cover, and it is of Leonardo, who is the last Ronin.
Oh, nice. They're making a movie for that.
And they are making a movie, and that's why he was kind of wanting to hold on to it, because if the movie comes on and it
Well,
does,
once the spec hits, yeah, once a
once
trailer
the spec
drops or
hits, this
something.
this is a pretty nice thing to spec with.
Yeah.
Isn't that a cool cover though?
Yeah, that's a nice one. Very nice.
So that's that. So that is 2 boxes, and so you can do something if you wish, or I have plenty more. Do you want me to do a couple more?
Well, you prepare them, get like maybe 3 or 4 boxes unboxed, and then I'll show some stuff while you're doing that. Make
Okay,
sense?
I will.
Okay.
Yes, I've got a knife and I know how to use it, sort of.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Don't get us banned from YouTube.
I
Don't
will.
get anything.
It's a box cutter.
Oh my goodness, he's already like threatening us. Oh my goodness. It's the chat, please be scared. Okay. So
Don't make me come after you.
okay, so I'm gonna show some stuff while you're preparing. Okay, so I went to Comic Con on Sunday actually, and I'm gonna show you an order of what I picked up. Okay, so basically, Ottawa is really great for having comic conventions. Yeah, so Matt, I didn't see you there. People missed you. They were like, "Oh, where's Matt?" But
And Alan said, "What am I, chopped liver?"
yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I basically was going there. Actually, I wouldn't have gone if it wasn't for like a particular book that when I went to the convention with Matt, I was like, oh, I really should have picked that up. So I was like, okay, can you hold it for me? And the guy said, okay, when the next convention is on, I'll sell it to you. So he held it for me, and I picked it up, and I'll show that book in a second. But the very first book that I came up with, like I was like trying to find the guy in the convention, so I was like walking around all the booths, and one guy had actually a bunch of overpriced books. It's like everything was like a little bit overpriced, but he had some like just random like golden age mixed with other stuff, like just random stuff. And I saw this one. I was like, oh, that's not a bad deal. So this is Bronco Bill, and it was $10. Like, can you see that? $10 Canadian. So that's about $7 US. And this is Alex Schomburg. You can see it's signed Schomburg at the bottom there. And I was like, oh, great price. Very cool book. It's got a bit of Good Girl. And if you look at the later exciting issues, they have this kind of more art style from Schomburg. The very late exciting comics run has this kind of style. So I thought for $7 US or $10 Canadian, can't go wrong. So I don't know, I was quite happy with. And then the book that actually I went there to get.
Alan, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
I had to turn the corner for just a minute. Could you show me again? Could you show me again what you showed? I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's just Alex Schomburg.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, for $7.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. So I didn't even negotiate. I was like, okay, I'll pay the price.
What do they have on it? $5?
They had $10 Canadian.
Well, that's so $7 US.
Yeah, $7 US.
Wonderful.
Seems like a good price.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn good.
And it's in decent shape. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like a 9.8 or anything, but it's decent shape. And then the one that I actually went there to get was actually on my hot list a couple weeks ago, and I was like, when I saw it at the convention, I was like, oh, that's so funny. I just did a video about that very book, and I really liked it. So it's this
Oh, there it is.
Haunted Thrills, and this is a really cool book. Actually, this book got me so much love and respect at the con. It was really funny. I was walking around with this, and people would start talking to me about, oh, you know, I like Golden Age stuff. I like pre-code horror, and people would just come up to me and start talking to me about this book. It was really funny, actually. It's amazing how much clout you get just by having a cool book in your hands.
Oh, that's wonderful. But that looks good. What grade did he put on it, Alan?
Well, so what happened was he didn't have any grade on it. I looked at it and I said, oh, okay, because it has rusted staples.
Okay.
I was like, if it's detached in any way, then it's probably going to grade out, like a 2 or something like that, right? So he graded it as a G minus.
Oh my God.
After what I said, right? But actually, it's not detached. It's just the staples are rusted. Like, so the staples have some issues. So, but it's not detached.
Oh man, that presents beautifully, Alan.
Yeah, it's
That is
nice
really good.
Yeah, it's almost one that I should get graded, right? So,
well, I mean, I don't know what is the market on. I mean, what is the what are the dollars for that book?
So it's about $500 a point.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty pricey book. So yeah, so I'll read what it says. The driver, look, he's changing his face. Tell him to stop, John. Let's get out. Oh, he's going faster, faster. No stops, folks. This is a one-way dead end. But don't worry, there's no fare. It's an absolutely free service.
God.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I really like that. You want to talk? I think he has more teeth than humans have.
Oh, there's a great cannibalism story inside. That just is a bonus. Yeah, it's a great cover. I thought it was it's an awesome one. It's a great skull cover. You got the big skull. I think he does have more teeth.
I mean, usually, I mean, that guy's got
he's got a really wide smile. That's all.
Well, he's got about twice as many teeth as if he at one time was a human.
I think he's got a right number of teeth. You just see
Are you
really
kidding
deep.
me? Look at that.
He's got like a Julia Roberts smile. He's just got a good smile. You can see right back to the back of his teeth.
He has at least 2 additional incisors for the front teeth. Then right up to the canines, and then he's got a lot extra. That's all right.
Actually, what's weird? He's actually got 1 extra front teeth. He's got if you look at it, it's 3 teeth between the canines.
Right. Yeah, so he's got 1 extra front tooth.
Yeah. That's a little weird.
Well, these skeletons, the skeletons have
He's
stuff
got
that they.
he's got 32 teeth, but they're all showing. Yeah, basically. So yeah, so it's it's art, okay, people. It's it doesn't have to be accurate. Okay. But he even has like a little skull. Actually I think the skull that's on his pin is actually more accurate.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Who did the cover?
Oh, I forgot. I should really look it up. I have no idea. I don't know.
Mr. Atkinson, are you there?
This is a time for somebody to Google and find out who did the cover.
Say the
Okay.
say the title and number again.
Oh, it's Haunted Thrills number 13. Haunted Thrills number 13. Okay. The sheer volume of the number of teeth reduces the value. I don't think it works that way. I think actually it's per tooth is the way they price it. So bonus teeth means bonus dollars. Okay. So the with me, like even though like he actually wasn't willing to negotiate on the price. Okay. So, but he had like some other books that were kind of in front of like he had that on the wall, and then he had other books that were kind of like dollar bin books or
Yeah.
$5 books. So I was kind of flipping through and I was picking a few out I was thinking about buying a couple more from him. And then but after just paid a lot for this big book, he was like, "Oh, you can have those ones for free." So I was like, "Okay, I'll take them for free. I'm good at free." So
He is good.
free is good. So I got this one, Toward Affairs. And this is actually quite interesting. It's not what you might expect. It's actually reprints Matt Baker's art.
Oh,
So
who
it's
did the
still
cover on that one?
I don't know who did the cover. Oh, it's Madman. It says Madman. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's all like reprinted art from Matt Baker, and his art is actually quite it's nice art that they chose for the interior stuff. So it's really great. Good girl art from the romance comics that Matt Baker did.
That is so cool.
So it's really cool. So it's like all 50s romances inside. And then we got this one I thought was kind of cool. Lost in Space.
Oh,
Artwork's a
yes.
little weird, but it's a good tentacle thing going on here. So yeah. So that
So
was
yeah, so June Lockhart is in the yellow top.
mhm,
Angela Cartwright's looking sultry with her spacesuit on,
mhm.
and Billy Mummy's got his blaster with the robot behind him.
Yeah, yeah. And then you got the doctor or whatever his
Dr.
name is.
Smith.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so that was that. And then at the very like as I was kind of looking through all those, I did buy one more book from him. Um, it was a price guide.
Ah, yes.
And this was actually quite interesting because it's an infinity cover. I like infinity covers. It's great, but it's an early price guide. This is issue number 13. Um, so what was happening was I went around and I was talking to this one vendor about he saw my Hunted Thrills and he was just talking to me about how he collects golden age pre-code horror, and he was showing me his collection. He has like a Venus 19, he has like a Black Cat Mystery 50, he has all the big pre-code horror books. And
He
he
had
said
them, he had them there.
no, not there, but in his private collection. He was showing me on his phone.
Oh,
um,
gotcha.
yeah. So the interesting thing though was he said you really got to open up your price guide and look at how much these pre-code horror books were going for when this book was printed. So we just as a joke we looked them up, and Black Cat Mystery, which is the famous like guy's face exploding one, that went for $30 in mint condition back in the day. Back in the 80s, this would be from like mid 80s. So it would have been $50 or $30. Sorry, $30. My Haunted Thrills was $8. I was a little bit disappointed that it was only worth $8 back in the day. And yeah, like a bunch of them were like so pre-code horror back in the 80s. You could have picked it up for just Nothing, basically nothing.
Well, why
And
don't you? I will recommend that you do this. Look at
get a
standard.
time sheet.
No, no. Look at standard Nedor. Look at standard Nedor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
So
will
my
give
point,
you a really good idea because it standard Nedor with Schomburg covers, it wasn't worth squat back in the
yeah,
day.
yeah. It's a shame, like well, it's a shame that I didn't collect it back then. Is my point. I would have been nice to like. Actually, if you think about it, this book I paid $10 for it. It says 12, but I paid 10. It was originally selling for 9.95 US, right? So I paid less than the cover price for this book. This book was more valuable back then than those pre-code horror comics were. Isn't that crazy?
I am not surprised, my friend.
Isn't that to me is kind of insane. So I don't know. It was kind of it's kind of interesting.
That is cool. But you know what? I've done that
Yeah,
before.
it was like $3 bin. It was not quite a dollar bin, but it was close. Yeah, take me and I'll get you it for like I'll say, oh, this thread is a little bit loose, and you should give me at half price. I like negotiating. I really do like negotiating. So those are my con pickups. And are you ready to show some of
I
your?
am. I am.
Okay.
I am indeed. I have opened up several.
Okay, good. So you're all ready. Good.
I am.
Okay.
The first. This is something that Alan started me on because on account of I had never seen them before, and these classic comics Popeye books,
Oh, you
and
got some more.
these are the ratios and the vintage. They're the ratios and the hard to get ones with the fancy artists and stuff with the wild, surreal looking Popeye, like he's taken spinach, and he'd always get all kind of wowed out of proportion and stuff when he would start hammering on the villains. Here's one where Bluto is getting it's just a big mess.
Oh wait, show it again.
I will.
Oh yes, I remember that. That's the yin. I called it the yin and yang cover. Like when you showed it to me
Mhm.
on Instagram. It's very cool. Yeah, it's very one. That's a nice one.
And then here is another one, which is I like green covers, but here's a really good one.
Oh, is that are
2000,
they under the water or what's going on there?
yeah, they're I don't know what the deal is. It's Bluto's head's been knocked off, and there's green blood spurting everywhere.
It's really weird.
It's
Are they
Olive Oil looks like she's in some kind of a trance.
are
So
they
does
zombies?
Sweetie, and then yeah, they're zombies. They're gonna eat Bluto, or they're gonna come and eat Popeye. I think they're zombies.
Oh, okay, that I thought it was like a bubble helmet because it's the swing around his head where he's
Yeah, it's
swung.
where he's knocked the
No,
block off of, and he's got the spinach going into his mouth. Isn't that a wild one?
that is
There's
really crazy.
And Alice the Goon is up there on the top by the E.
Digested spinach blood. It's really
Isn't that a
weird.
cool cover though?
That is a really crazy cover. Yeah, that's one that I hadn't seen. That's a nice one.
And Alan showed this book just here recently, and evidently this is a tough book to get.
Oh yes, it is. That's a good Dave Stevens cover. Those ones are going crazy right now.
And these were $20 a throw. My finger tapped twice, and then I
I see
looked
you
when
bought twice of them.
I bought two. I wasn't trying to. I
Oh,
guess the guy had four, and they're gem mint.
very nice.
If you're going to double up, this is a pretty good one to double up on
Yeah, yeah.
for
Well,
20
that was
bucks.
the interesting thing about the con that I went to both times with Matt and this last time was everybody was just showcasing their Dave Stevens stuff. It's
Yeah,
just like, everywhere.
it's the time.
Yeah.
Um, you showed a western. Here's a western that I got.
Oh, Bad Men. Interesting. I think you showed me that on Instagram. That was pretty cool. Very nice looking. It looks like it's in really great shape too.
Yeah, it's remarkably good shape. Uh, then Dave Stevens is very big, and Alan Pollitt is very good at trying to find the rare Dave Stevens books. And
Hmm.
he was a little bit this where he just went and got his Haunted Thrills. Was that what you just got, Haunted Thrills?
Haunted Thrills is the big one, yeah.
Yeah. And there was another book there that he passed on and then kicked himself and then tried to get it, and then it was too late.
Too
And there
late.
was one on eBay that he was saying that was just way too much, but I actually talked the guy down, and here it is.
That's the one. Whoopsie. Yeah, I
And
mean
this,
that's a cool book.
and that's the one. Oh, for heaven's sake.
Boy, yeah, he was awesome. He was really good.
And then you had showed this book a while ago, and my friend Bleeker just got an A-OK of this, and I looked at it and I said, "Damn, I've decided it's just too damn cool of a book to not own." And so I went out. There were several, and I found the best one, actually, for condition and price very easily. But it's this one.
Oh, you found it. Wow. Where did you get like I mean that's a hard book to find.
eBay. There were about 4 or 5 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that must be a new phenomenon because when I looked, I hadn't seen it for a long, long time. And how like can I ask how much it was?
I think it was like a couple $100 or something.
Okay.
But it's a nice copy. It's probably a VF. It needs pressing, but it's like a VF or so.
Yeah, no,
They
it's really
get they
good.
get real expensive too when the grades go higher. They get a lot. The prices really spike.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best
Oh,
covers of the like the underground scene. Like it's just such a
oh,
crazy cover.
I mean, you can't beat this one. I had to get me one.
That's the one Bleeker really wants. He keeps on asking for my
Got it.
copy.
He got it. He got an A-OK. He didn't
Oh, you
have to
got
try
you.
to get
Oh,
it
he
from
did
you.
get it as an okay. Oh,
Some
okay.
guy felt some guy saw that he really wanted it, and there are people in our hobby, Alan, who will at times send books to people for free.
I
And
really want to action one.
you do? Well, I think that you should definitely get on that. Now, why don't you show some? Because I've showed a bunch.
Okay. Actually, I'm just gonna show one book, believe it or not. But
I don't believe it.
did that work? Wow! I actually figured out how to switch it just to myself. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna show you what's inside the slab. What's inside the slab? What's inside the slab? So
Is
you
it
and I.
David Nakayama? David Nakayama? David Nakayama?
It's not David Yakiyama, whatever. Okay, it's not that. Okay, so you and I have been talking about something that was kind of like you and I kind of been going on this weird rabbit hole together, like a joint rabbit hole, if that's even possible, where we were looking into a character called Betty Boop, and we were looking for her first appearances and comics that she appeared in, and we were kind of trying to find out the history of when she actually made her first appearance in comics. But in that journey, I actually did pick up her first appearance, by the way. But that's not what I'm showing. Sorry. Um, I did pick up a cool book just because you picked up a cool book of Betty Boop and I figured, hey, I should have one too. So this one is Betty Boop's Big Break, and actually the way that they listed it was really cute. So this is it's a 9/8 white pager. They're all white
They're all
pages,
white pages. It's all
and the
covered.
modern ones are always white pages. It's first publishing 1990, so it's actually reasonably old. Um, but this one's interesting because the way that they listed it was that it's an upskirt because her little doggy guy is looking looking up basically. I thought that was a cute way to list it, but make it more provocative than
Looking up her skirt.
yeah, the fact that it's like they basically said it's an upskirt.
And what's
So
the name of the dog?
What was it? Was it? Is it Coco?
No,
Okay,
Coco.
Coco is the clown, and then see the clown's name sounds like a. Okay, so the
Well,
dog's name and
Coco the clown makes sense, doesn't it?
no, I thought the clown's name being what's it? Is it what
I'll let you off the hook. It's Bimbo.
Bimbo sounds like a clown's name to me. So Bimbo sounds like a clown's name, Coco. So I didn't know which name was associated to which character. So, but my point is, Bimbo sounds more like a Bimbo the clown. I don't know. Or Coco. I
Coco,
guess Coco the clown works too.
Coco the clown sounds more. I think more
Okay,
like it.
yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I'm mistaken in that. I think it does sound better. Coco the clown. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. Um.
Gosh, that's nice of you.
Yeah. And so we got Betty. Oop,
Boop boop a doop.
Betty. Oop, oop, a doop. And then she would. I actually binge watched like about an hour's worth of Betty Boop cartoons. They're quite cute. Quite
Did you
cute.
watch the St. James Infirmary or the one with Cab Calloway?
So that's where she's in a hospital.
No, it's the one where she's the devil's kind of dancing and she's being chased by skeletons and all that other good stuff. Maybe not.
Oh yes. I did see that. I didn't see that in this binge watch, but I saw it prior to that. But yeah, so I know this is my thing. So I picked up a bunch of Betty Boop stuff. So I picked up her first comic book appearance. I picked up her first appearance in print. And I tried to pick up her first Tijuana Bible, which I didn't win. So that's one of the ones I missed out on. But I'm also picking up her run in comics that appeared in like the 90s, late 80s, 90s. So I picked up a bunch of stuff. So you'll see those in a future unboxing.
Are those currently residing in at Stackery?
No, some of them are still in my cart on my comic shop, but I will be checking it out soon. They're not expensive. They were like $2 each. So I'll be checking it out later. Okay, so that's it for the ones I had to show.
Is that your have you shot your bolt now for today?
Yeah, we might as well just close down. I have no more comics. That's it.
Okay,
That's all the comics I have.
Okay, well, I'll see you.
It's nice knowing you. I guess I'm done for comic collecting. Like, do you ever see like on certain websites they say you have reached the end of the internet?
No, what is it again?
Yeah, it's a sort of a joke. It's like you've reached the end of the internet.
No, I haven't
It's
seen
sort of
that.
like the idea that you've gone everywhere, you've done it all, and then they'll have like a page, just some random page that says this is the end of the internet, and it's just sort of it's a joke.
I like that. That's
So
fun.
this Betty Boop was the end of my comic collecting. That's it. That's it. You've reached the end. No more. So yeah, you're still slashing and.
Oh no, I have some to show. I have some to show here. I've got this is the
I'll pull out some other books while you're showing these ones.
Okay, good enough. Another one of the biggest one of their like three or four of the really big Popeye books, which are the classics comics. One of them is the one that Alan is after, which is Popeye has a huge fist and he's blasting Bluto, and it's very, very thematically, it's very, very much Popeye and Bluto. But here is one that is sort of like Zombie, the retailer incentive edition of classic Popeye number 65, and it's got a Len Danovich cover, and there's guts.
Yeah.
There's guts
that's
and
the big
everything else, and intestines and everything else going on. And I don't know if they look like they're zombies, and it is gross.
Yeah, no, that's the most popular of all the
And
covers.
this particular book was the only slabbed copy of any of these I've seen. And there was a raw copy that was $300 more expensive than this one of this book.
Which did you go with?
I went with the raw book.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. You like going for the big money ones, right?
I took one look at that and I'm going, what am I missing here? You know,
Yeah, it's like
I mean,
okay.
I said, come on, man, really? All right, Alan.
Yeah.
Uh, Mr. Houdat has had auctions now because he is going to be going to Dallas, and he and Tone and Yahweh was going to go with, but I think Yahweh. I don't know if Yahweh's still going to go.
Who's
Uh,
Yahweh? Other than the
Yahweh Yahweh's another one of the merry men.
okay.
And so he was raising money, and some of the books he was really interested in selling, and some he really was not that interested in selling. And they were somewhat priced accordingly, I suppose. One of the ones that he just got back, this is absolutely fresh from the CGC, because I watched his box opening and I had already pre-purchased it. Very, very reasonable and great guy to do business with. Houdat Comics and Movies. Clips, movies, and a great guy and fun. You should watch their auctions. Houdat and Bleeker and the band of brothers have auctions. This is Nova. Now, I never thought I would necessarily go after a Nova comic book, but
Mm-hmm.
I saw this one and I had never seen it before. And he always goes for these variant editions. He has access to them in some way and fashion. This is Nova Comics #2 from May of 2013. Variant and it is a J. Scott Campbell cover.
Oh, that's nice.
And there is Gamora, looking very J. Scott Campbellish, and also there is Rocket Raccoon, and then Nova in the background. Isn't that nice?
That is nice. I like the fact that they make Gamora kind of have a bit of good cover appearance there. So that's nice.
She's very Gamora-ish.
Gamora-ish. Yeah, that's really nice. So wow. So what does it have any notation of what the key is about it or?
It says, "This is really the coolest Nova cover in the run." Gamora and Rocket Raccoon appearance, and it says, Watcher cameo on last page, J.
Okay.
Scott Campbell cover, Jeff Loeb story, and Ed McGuinness art on the inside.
All right.
So there's that one. And another book that came, and this is because I wanted to help these guys. I mean, they had books that I liked, but I wanted to help them because they were basically trying to raise money to go to the convention. And so Houdat said that whoever paid the most to both of them would win a 9/8 slab prize. And evidently, I was the one who had enough that I bought enough from both of them. God knows I did. To win the prize. And the prize is this: War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas #1 in a
Okay.
9/8 with white pages.
Oh wow. That's actually like was a pretty hot key for a while.
The way Bleeker says, he says, that was really hot for a minute.
It was. It was. It was like
But there's all manner of origins in this thing.
yeah, no, it has like so many first appearances and stuff
It
like
is
that.
the first appearance of Luna Snow, Soul He, Wave, Pearl Rank, Pearl Pangan, Crescent, Dan Bai, and first U.S. appearance of Arrow, Let Ling.
Okay.
So there's all manner of stuff, and it's a beauty. I mean, it's a 9/8 white page, or what else do you want? And this was my gratis prize.
You should send that in and get it resubmitted and get a 9/9.
I really don't like what they're doing with that.
Yeah, it's
I really don't like that. That to me is, I was looking at it, and before they started doing this, there were very, very few 9/9s, and now all of a sudden we've got
there's a
9/9s
whole bunch.
coming out of our eyes. I really don't like it, and I guess there's one person that's got a bunch of them or something. Now,
That was Comic Link. They submitted like 70 copies of a Wolverine book, and they got like nine nines out of it.
Alan, I showed you the cover to the Black Panther that was supposed to be the cover to the Black Panther in black and
Yes,
white. That
you
was the
showed it
one
last
of
time,
one,
yeah. And now
that
you
was
got the color version of it.
that was the one of 1,000. This is the one of 500 in a 9/8.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's how it would have worked.
This is
Okay,
how it
maybe.
would have worked.
So maybe it's not as bad as I was thinking. I don't like the short shorts. I don't like the short shorts on Black Panther, but it doesn't look too bad when it's colored.
It looks very much like the way he does look, except his shorts are black, not gray.
Yeah.
In his regular, and he still has the sort of vestigial cape. But I think it's a beautiful look at that cover.
Oh, it's a great cover actually.
Isn't that beautiful?
Very different than like it doesn't look like it was like from the Silver Age though. It doesn't look like a Silver Age cover.
Well, it sure does because it was done at the time and Jack Kirby did it.
Well, I know that, but my point is it looks more modern in terms of the styling. I'm just saying. That's just
Well,
my opinion.
you can say. And
Okay.
now, one of the titles that Alan collects and enjoys very much, and with Alan, if he likes a comic or two in a run, generally he will then fill in the
One.
entire title. He'll always fill in the whole title.
Yeah.
And so one of the covers he was showing really rang a bell with me. And it's this. It's Haphazard number 13.
Oh yeah. And you got it at 7.5. Nice.
And this cover was drawn by a guy named Singer. But I really think that the hairstyle, because 14 has the first Al Feldstein, correct?
14. Yes.
14. So this is 13, just before it.
Yep.
You look at her hair and you look at the way she's drawn.
Very Al Feldstein.
I think that it looks very much like Al Feldstein's first, I don't know if Springer could draw girls this well. And I think because you look at the guy in the jalopy, and maybe Singer drew the jalopy, says, God, Al, can you help me out with the girl? And I think that's what happened here. I can't prove it, but I look at her and I see Dina or whatever the dark-haired one is in Junior. I mean, that's what.
Yeah. I think it's Dina. You're right. I think that's right. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that a honey?
Oh, look. So Hudat's like agreeing with you on the whole 60s style of the other book. I think is her dress see-through?
It is, so. but it's very snug, as you can see. It is very snug.
Snug dresses is very Al Feldstein, by the way.
And also with the flapping skirt and the nice gams and then the big top, but that hairstyle is right from it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. I posted a book called Boots, Boots number 9 or whatever, the last one of the run.
You think that.
And I'm convinced that is a Schomburg cover because it's a standard comic. And he did all the covers for a lot of the franchise stuff that Ned Pines got at Standard, which included Alley Oop, Captain Easy, Brick Bradford. All of those were standards that were taken from newspaper strips, and Schomburg was there crafting all of these great covers, the classic robot cover, a bunch of the Captain Easies, a bunch of the Alley Oops, and it makes sense to me that Boots, which is also standard, you look at the guys in the background, and I think that he basically mimicked Edgar Martin's Boots from the 30s very easily. But the proportions and their faces and all that. If you look at another one is Freckles. If you look at his Freckles covers and all the other ones, and then you look at that Boots, I'm certain that that is a Schomburg cover.
Mm. Yeah, I like those Boots. It was weird that you picked that up because those were ones that I was looking at for a while, and then it's weird that you were.
It's odd that I would pick up something that you've been looking at for a while. Alan, are there many books that you haven't been looking at for a while? You already told me that everything on the internet at
Yeah.
Heritage and at My Comic Shop are all yours.
And everything in, like, if it's a comic, it's anywhere in the world, then it's probably mine. Just assume. Okay.
I'm glad that you're egalitarian and it included the world.
Yes. Yes. Outside of the world, if there's any planets that
That's
produce
why I
comics.
only buy interplanetary comics.
Yeah.
This is from a place that we know. And Bleecker was on with some other fella, and every time that they would say My Comic Shop, they go, My Comic Shop, dang.
Yeah.
Says, yes, it was from My Comic Shop, dang. So it's catching on. I like it.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad we're having a positive influence on the world.
I think that if I'm supposed to have an influence on something, that would be a good thing to be yes.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got going on here? You were saying, how's the chat?
Oh, the chat. They seem alive. Is her dress see-through? We did that. We did that. We did that. There. One ringy dingy. See? I did everything.
Oh boy. Here is a good one. Oh God, and the slab is perfect.
Nice.
One of the titles that both Alan and I have been collecting features an artist who has done a lot of really nice work. Alan, I will say the name of the title, and then you can say the name of the artist.
Okay, give me a sec here. Wait. I'm trying to, like, sort something. 1 sec. Wait, just bear with me.
Why are you sorting stuff when we're in the middle of a show?
Because I'm looking for something.
Can't you sort when you're done?
No, never. That's not how it works.
Well, I'm real busy now. I'm real busy now, people. Are you ready now?
No, 1 sec. I'm just, like, it's, like, really awkward.
Oh, God, what a ordeal.
1 sec here. This is, like, really awkward.
The name of the artist is Lee Elias,
Okay.
and the name of the character is Black Cat. And
right.
Alan and I've collected a whole bunch of them. Matter of fact, I got Black Cat #1 here recently. And I got the last issue is Black Cat #65. It is giant size Harvey.
Hey, I'm back.
Okay, giant size Harvey, 25 center from April of 1963. And I had never seen this cover before, and it is absolutely beautiful. And fortunately for me, they had a very nice copy and in an 8.0 with white pages, and here it is.
Oh, that one. Oh, shoot. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, we're gonna be twinsies?
No. I got a phone call. 1 sec.
You know, he's a busy man. You know, someday wouldn't it be fun if you've read any Silver Age comics of any sort? This one's from 1963, which is, I was 10. But this ad was on umpteen million comic books, right? Make money, get prizes, and they have those 4 mooks up at the top there. There's Joel. Let me just see who these people are. I wonder where these people are. He says, Jeff Belanger, Joel Belanger from Washington. I sell American Seeds every year. Then there's Mary Zimmerman from Wisconsin. It's an easy way to get money and prizes. Then there's the Chippy Chipmunk guy looking. His name is William Hanlon. They put his last name, middle name, William Hanlon, Missouri. Oh, William Hanlon from Missouri. They sell as fast as I can show them. And then there's the kind of the geekaroo looking guy with the black glasses. I sold 240 packs in 1 hour and a half, said Desmond Meacham of New York, New York. I wonder what happened to those people, because they inflicted us with their names for literally years. But here is the book, and it is The Queen of Cats. It has a date stamp on it, a very small date stamp, which is very nice. And the date stamp reads December 26th, 1962. So this was like a Christmas book of 1962. And I love it that it's, and the cover date is April. So this must have been this was like a quarterly, almost a quarterly. But isn't that a beautiful cover and composition? I mean, it really is, I think, a gorgeous, gorgeous book. So there's that. And let me just put this back in here. The amount of debris I've got, I'm up to my knee balls in debris. Whenever you get these boxes from Lone Star, from my comic shop, I recommend that sometimes they use brown paper, which I like it. They use fresh, clean brown paper to act as the insulation for the book to make its travel. But other times, for whatever reason, they'll use peanuts, and it's such a mess. So the way I circumvent this is I open the bottom of the box, because they always put the peanuts up on the top. So this way, if they are there, then I avoid having it explode all over the floor trying to extract the book out of there. Let's see what we got here. It's paper this time. Okay. Oh, it's a big one. This is a big book. This is a big book, but it's not the biggest book I have to show you today. Oh, yeah, man. What I mean. Now, one of the titles that I have been collecting, and it's a book that when Alan made his move from Toronto to Ottawa, various books were misplaced and unfiled. And one of the books that he is still looking for, and it drives him absolutely crazy, is Bulletman #1. And so I have my Bulletman #1 in my safe. And I picked up a beautiful copy, which I've shown at least 2 or 3 times to you. It has that really great silver paint on the cover. It's a Charles Sultan cover. A lot of times it's Mac Rayboy, but it's Charles Sultan. It has the first one. But it develops, he has the second one too, because I have the 3rd issue, which is the one that was on the mini comics that they had. But this is Bulletman #2 from Fawcett Publications from the fall of 1941. And it does feature a Mac Rayboy cover this time, and Charles Sultan art on the inside. And here it is. This is Bulletman #2. Isn't that a pip? But you'll see that it does not have the silver paint like the last one did. But they have it's silver gray colored, but it's not the silver paint, the metallic silver paint that's on issue #1.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Oh, you're showing Bulletman. Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is a big one. And so this one, because it's in the fall of 1941. This book, it's got off-white pages, which is very nice. This came out prior to the Second World War for us. This came out prior to Pearl Harbor. And on the back, you have Mechanics Illustrated.
One sec here. Wait. Show that book again. Trust me. Oh, yours is a low grade. Mine's a 7.5.
Oh, I see.
No, I was checking. Mine's restored though.
Yours has the orange look to it. Mine is red.
Yeah, that's really weird. Yours is way better colors. Yours is better color on that. I'd go with that. Sure.
I tried to buy this book a couple times. There was a guy, and when I bought it at the guy who had it basically couldn't sell it at the price that he wanted to sell it for, so he finally put it into auction. and I not auction. He lowered his price sufficiently
Mhm.
so that you could actually buy it, and I was able to then do it because he had a buy it now, and it was
It
one
was
of those
crazy.
ones. The
Yeah.
buy it now is I'm throwing a number out 1900, and then if
Mhm.
you know, and you put in 17 denied, you put 18 denied, you put 18.5 denied, you put
Yeah, yeah.
18,750 denied. I mean, what is there is no offer.
I actually have a funny story about that. Just happened to me. So yeah, so I actually put an offer on a book. They wanted 1,100 for it. I figured I kind of looked at the GPA and all that kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
figured it's worth about 700 or 800, right?
Oh, that is a huge drop.
So I said, I offered them 800, and then they go through the process, right? And he lowered his price by $15.
15, that much?
It's like, why?
What a luxury.
I know. It's like, okay, thank you.
What is the
Um,
point? What is the point?
yeah,
It's uh the things about my
yeah. And
comic.
his books are better. He's good. You're good at picking up good color ones, there, Stephen. I'll give you that.
I actually, it isn't just by happenstance. I will actually pass on books that are
With it,
not that don't have the right colors.
I didn't realize, like, when you showed yours, like, I thought my colors were good, but then when I see yours, I see what they should have been.
I it's one of those things where
It's weird. I don't think this actually deserves a 7.5. I'm
why
looking
is
at
it
my.
lower?
Yeah, I would have graded this at a 6, just based on what I'm seeing. It's a
It's a
nice copy, but it's got some issues.
Well, I wonder why they. Well, I would take the grade, but it's sort of like you buy the grade, not the label, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you buy the book, not the grade.
hmm Actually, the
That's
restoration could actually be removed. It's not even a big deal.
what is your restoration?
Restoration includes small tear seal.
Small snare seal,
Small tear seal.
small care seal.
Yes.
Um, Alan just showed his. Alan, ladies and gentlemen, was showing you his Betty Boop, and I don't even know how they didn't cancel us when he showed us his Betty Boop. But since
hmm
he could show his, I'm going to show mine. You have to say,
Okay. Okay. So I don't know. I was putting people's stuff. Okay, go ahead. You show your stuff.
sure. Here is the one that I chose. I chose this Betty Boop cover,
So I have that
which,
in my cart right now as we speak.
which is an homage to the Joker and Harley Quinn cover by Alex Ross.
hmm
This cover was actually produced by Howard Chaykin.
Okay. Who's that?
He's an artist of some note. You may run into him periodically. With your four complete runs of American Flag,
Oh, okay. So he did American Flag?
Howard Chaykin.
Howard Chaykin. I didn't know. Okay.
And this is Giselle Legas art and Roger Langridge story. And there is a certain amount of notoriety with this book because the people who own the rights to Betty Boop, this is Coco the Clown, and Coco the Clown is putting the clamp on Betty, and she looks as though she's rather willing for Coco to do so because they were going to clown around, Alan.
I don't think so. I think people are reading
And
into
so
it.
they said that they took umbrage to this because they wanted Coco to be a humorous friend, not a paramour. And this looks like he is definitely a paramour, and they objected, and I guess there was some problem.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of romance. I can see that, but not too much romance. Like, if that makes sense.
It's what they could show on the cover.
Okay.
All right, I have one more box, and then I have one more box. And again, I used my patented turn it over regimen so that I don't spill dinosaur DNA all over the place. And this one's paper also. Fair enough. Boy, oh boy, I'm going to do some recycling. That's for damn sure. Oh, Alan, you'll appreciate this one. I'm presuming you have been appreciating it right straight along.
Yep.
Are you back? Are you sorting again?
I'm sorting again because I'm trying to find stuff. It's the only way to
Well,
find it. It's the way I do things. Okay. One sec. Here, what is this thing here?
A comic that is rather hard to find. Again, this is because all the books in the world are Alan's books.
Mm-hmm.
He was very chagrined that, and talked about it in our last live stream, about that he
Oh, so
was
you got it.
looking at a book and then the book disappeared.
I know
And
what
he
it
said,
is.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. And then I said, in a very,
Manhunt number 2.
I said, I said, you know, it's Manhunt number 2. It's one I've wanted forever. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I said, Alan, yes. I said, I bought it. And he said, I was going to ask you that, but this is it.
Yeah, it's a great book.
And they are trying, this is an Ogden Whitney cover. And it is from Magazine Enterprises from November of 1947. Ogden Whitney cover and art, and it also has Fred Gardner art in it. And
I really like that one.
she is being shoved right into an electric chair.
You know what I think that book is, by the way?
I don't know. What do you think it is?
I think it's the same copy that I missed out on PBA auctions.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the same grade and everything?
Yeah.
Cream to off-white pages. But, you know, I really don't mind cream to off-white. This is from 47. That's really what you could expect.
Yeah. That book is not seen very often.
And that's why I like to show stuff here. Ladies and gentlemen, the last book I'm showing you is my totem. And this book is what put me onto the map in the firmament of comic book people. In 1988, going into 1989, I purchased a copy of this book from Mark Wilson, who I traded my whole collection to. And in that sequence, in that process, the question was that the first appearance of a character. And the character that they were trying to figure out was the first.
By the way, that's a great line for Manhunt, shocking cover. Yeah, so go ahead.
And this is the character that it was, which is the first appearance of the Sandman, because heretofore it was thought that the Sandman appeared in Adventure Comics number 40. But Fair 39 also had a very early appearance. Not only he has a cover appearance as a bubble on the side, and Superman is a blonde, which is interesting, in 1939. And then here is a little bit darker version of the Sandman, which is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
But in any event, I sold my copy of the book many years ago. I bought a very high grade copy. As a matter of fact, the copy that is the highest graded copy extant was my copy, and it was actually a book that was probably a 9.4 or a 9.6. And Mr. Jeffy bought it, and he had to have it. And I made, at the time, which was probably 1990, 92 or 3, no, yeah, something like that. And he offered me all the money in the world for that book, and I bought it. I mean, I doubled my money. And after I got it, after he got it, I sold my lower grade. It was a low grade copy that I had, my first one. And so here recent, so then even though the book had fallen and had damage on it, it still came out a 9.0 for that book,
Hmm.
which, like I say, it did take a bit of a beating. So that since then, I have never had another copy of the book that I proved that the Sandman appeared in New York World's Fair Comics of 1939, 42 calendar days before Adventure 40 hit the stands. Because the New York World's Fair of 1939 opened, I think, in June or whatever day of February, whatever it was. And then Adventure 40 came out. At the time, the Gerber Photojournal had just come out, and they sent them in two pieces. The first, they sent you the A through J, and then they sent later on, a few weeks later, they sent you the K through Z. And with the K through Z, they also sent the dust covers to the books. I bought the leather bound ones. It was the very first incarnation of them. They're leather bound, and so uh, if you do not know, the books that are pictured inside the Gerber Photojournal, almost without exception, are from the Mile High collection of comics. And Ernie Gerber and his wife wanted to find, Ernie in particular, wanted to find the best copies he could find, representative copies of these books for his photojournal. And the Mile High collection at that time, there was none finer, and one would argue that it's still the finest, large, beautiful, comprehensive golden age collection of comic books that has ever been found. There may be ones or twosies or whatever that are nicer at a given another collection pedigree, but nothing matches and also the fact that the pedigree as a thing really, okay,
Hmm.
April. And so I had the date. There was no date stamp on the Mile High. There was no date stamp on the Mile High number 40, but there was on the number 39. And so I took that information, which buttressed what I had. And at that time, there's no internet. And so what I had to do to try to follow up with this, I found out that the Copyright Office of the United States kept records of when these books were actually dates of publication. And you see that when you go on Grand Comics database now, you always see the date first available, and they put it from the records of the blah, blah, blah. Well, back in the day, the records of the blah, 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 you had to mail away for, and you had to send them a check. And then the check had to clear. And then they had to then do the research, and you waited the weeks it took. And then finally, then they would send you an official letter showing, answering your questions that you had asked, which is what I had to do. And I did that with Fair 40 or Fair 39. So then after all of that, in the interim, I found out the person who was the actual editor and drew this cover for Fair 39, his name is Vincent Sullivan. And Vincent Sullivan was a very, very important guy in comics. He was the editor of these books. He was the editor of a lot of the very, very amazing DC books, right to begin with. And he also, like I said, he was an artist. Yes, the Library of Congress, but it's in the Copyright Office. And the reason it's in the Copyright Office is because at this time, comics were still brand new, and they were protecting everything they had by basically sending it to the Copyright Office to be registered, so that if there was any question about who had the rights to titles and characters, they had, if you had the earliest date of publication, then you have the rights to that character. And because of that, the Captain Marvel and Superman and all that other stuff. That's why how they determine this, because if you're first and you're registered with the government, you are first. That's it. And so what happened was, but back to Vincent Sullivan, I managed to track down his number. This is 1989, somewhere in upstate New York. I don't know exactly where. I got his phone number. I dialed the number, and by God, Vincent Sullivan answered the phone. Very nice man. And I had a long conversation. I told him what I was trying to do, and he confirmed for me that Fair 39 was among various stories that had been collected and had drawn specifically for the fair. If you've ever read the interior of the book, it basically is stories of these heroes at the World's Fair. And so he said, yes, Adventure 40 came after because the fair came first. And I thanked him. We had a very nice conversation. And so I then contacted Bob Overstreet, and I told him everything I'd found out about Adventure 40 and Fair 39. And Bob didn't want to change the history. And I said, why don't you want to change it? He said that he says, well, I think that Adventure 40 is first. I said, well, Bob, I have the delivery dates from the most comprehensive, beautiful collection there is, the Mile Highs. And it shows that Adventure 40 came after the fair opened, when the Fair 39 was available. I spoke with Vincent Sullivan, and he confirmed, and he was the editor of both books, that the Fair 39 came first. I also have the dates of publication from the government when they actually were registered, which confirms, and I've confirmed, that it was 42 calendar days before Adventure 40. I said, what is the basis that you have this? And then I will imitate him. He said, Steve, Fair 40, Fair 39, remember, a friend of mine said that he was walking downtown and he bought Adventure 40 before he bought Fair 39. It was already came on the newsstand afterward. So that's why I know. I said, Bob, you're telling me some guy wandering around downtown New York buying a funny book trumps the Mile High dates of publication, the editor of both books, and the Copyright Office of the United States? Really? It says, Steve, I'd like to thank you very much for participating. And so then, grudgingly, then he changed the origin or first appearance of the Sandman to say first published appearance, see Adventure 40 for first drawn story. So it is a bifurcated situation, but Fair 39 is the first appearance and first cover appearance of the Sandman. You can see him. There he is down. It's a 2.5, but presents very nicely. You'll see the Sandman is the second one up, and then Superman with his blonde hair. Now, you'll notice that there is a certain amount of white around the 25-cent box at the top. Now, there is a reason for that. What happened was New York World's Fair comics for 25 cents was an ungodly amount of money to pay for a funny book. But it was designed to be at the fair and somewhat more expensive because it was at the fair, with special stories from all the heroes, the DC heroes. And so what they did was they had a large number of these left over. So what they did a promotion that if you sent in 25 cents to DC, they would send you this book for 15 cents, and they would send you Superman #1. And so if you sent 25 cents back in 1939, you got a copy of this book and Superman #1. Later, you actually could get a Superman #2 as well, because the fair ran for that long period of time, and Superman 2 had also come out. And I think they ran out of Superman 1s. So that's what happened. And what they did in order to sell these further on, rather than having people send in 25 cents, they had an orange sticker that sort of matches that top bar where it says 96 pages in full color, was a little sticker that had 15 cents. And very often that sticker has fallen off. The glue has given up. and it's fallen off. And that's why you see the original 25-cent price for this book. And my copy that I got, it was had still had the 15-cent sticker on it and everything. It was perfect. But in any event, so this book then, by virtue of this, in 1990, late 1994, going into 95, I was invited to come back to Diamond International Galleries in Timonium, Maryland, to become an advisor to the guide. And weren't they surprised when I actually showed up? Uh, and the place, the gallery was beautiful, very fancy. The paint was still wet, but at the same time, it was Mecca. And Mr. Jeppy, a very very well-to-do individual, had just purchased Bob Overstreet's collection, and he also bought the Overstreet price guide. He bought out Bob lock, stock, and barrel. And so what happened was they took our pictures, and then we became that crop of advisors to the guide in 1995. And I have been an advisor to the guide ever since. And by virtue of me figuring out that this was the first, this comic had the first appearance of the Sandman, they made me what they call a golden age specialist. I don't know what a golden age specialist is, but evidently that's what they think I am. So they made me a golden age specialist, and the uh, uh, the story of this changed. And so now when people are buying this book or Adventure 40, they know what they're actually buying. And I was in no way looking for accolade of any sort. I was looking to try to make sure that the record was correct, so that the history was right as far as when the Sandman first appeared, because I really like, he's a mystery man character. The man who actually drew the Sandman first was an artist by the name of Bert Crispin. And Bert Crispin did all the early stories. This is 1939. And what happened was when World War II had broken, and before the United States got involved, uh, Bert Crispin was a pilot. So he basically went over to China and became one of the Flying Tigers. He was in the American Volunteer Group, and he flew in P-40s against the Japanese there in China. And what happened was he was very successful, but unfortunately for him, his plane got shot up, and then he had to basically bail out of his ship. So they roll the plane over, and then you fall out of you turn it upside down and you fall out. That's how they did it. He pulled the ripcord, and as he was drifting down to the ground from where he was, the Zero that shot his plane looped back around and then strafed him to death in his parachute, completely helpless, shot him to death, riddled him. And then when he hit the ground, while he was completely dead and shot to pieces. But that's what happened to the man who drew the Sandman to begin with. Now, the artist who took over for him was an artist by the name of Craig Flessel. And right after we finished being installed as advisors in 1995, Mr. Jeppy took us out to a beautiful dinner, a very nice, fancy restaurant, beautiful dinner, steaks, I mean, the wine, drinks, everything. He just carte blanche, wonderful. And then he says, let's have some fun. And so he had a fancy tour bus, and we all got on the bus. I sat right behind Bob Overstreet, not by trying to, but I just ended up right behind Bob. And we drove down to New York City to the Sotheby's auction there in New York City for comic books. And so all the way down, I won't say I'm haranguing him, but I'm going, Bob, why do you resist this after all that? Steve, thank you very much for you. I couldn't get him. I couldn't get him to see the light. He grudgingly saw the light halfway. I guess I have to be happy with that. And when we got to the place, I thought there would be chandeliers and beautiful paint and all this other stuff. And it was a dingy building on some back street that had a walk-up of 1 floor walk-up to basically shag carpeting and a relatively low ceiling that had tables set up with skirts around them and all these boxes of comics that were for sale. And as I walked in, I was amazed that this is what it was. The books had no protection I mean, they had no one watching out for people handling the books. So they were just sitting in racks, I mean, sitting in their boxes, and people were pulling them out and looking. They were most everybody was a collector or a dealer, and they were very careful. It wasn't fortunately, it wasn't a bunch of jerks in there, screwing up the books. But as I walked in, I was then greeted by 3 creators of comics. The first one I met was Carmen Infantino. The second one I met was Craig Flessel and his wife. And then I met Martin Nodell and his wife of Green Lantern fame. And so I had a conversation with all 3, and I was a fanboy of Mr. Infantino because I collected Flash. And I said, "Thank you very much, Mr. Infantino, for the Flash is so wonderful. I can't tell you wow." And he was very nice. And then I spoke with Craig Flessel about the Sandman and went over all the stuff we had. And he was a very nice man, and his wife was also very nice. So was Martin Nodell and his wife. It was very nice, and I ended up buying some Strange Tales, actually, that are still in my collection that I bought when I put together my Strange Tales run. So that's what happened, and then I stayed at a hotel, the Mayfair Hotel, right on the park, on the Central Park, and then flew back home here to Portland. But that was my adventure where I got to meet my childhood hero with Flash, and also the guy who ended up drawing Sandman after Bert Crispin died heroically in the war, fighting for the Chinese against the Japanese. So this is my totem. This is my book, and it's very nice. I bought this from Yaniv and Jordan Seymour. They shared this book, and I ended up getting a very nice copy that I'll be proud to have. It's got an absolutely brand new slab, complete, and there's not a mark on it. It's very, very nice. And this 2.5, I think, presents
It's very nice presenting 2.5. Yeah.
the colors on this book, as you can see, there is no fading at all. The orange in the Trilon and the Perisphere, which are those 2 things right there, are there. It says, "Mystery, Thrills, and Adventure features stories and pictures of the fair, interesting and unusual. The above favorites and many more. Ginger Snap," which I think is Bob Kane character, a little girly character, the Sandman, Butch the Pup, Zatara the Magician, and Superman. And so that is my big book. I'm very happy to have it. And the last thing about it, this is, I was trying to buy a 3.0 on eBay. It was an auction, and I liked the 3.0, and it looked very nice. Not a hell of a lot nicer than this one, but it was a nice copy. It had more. It had other considerations because the 3.5 is going to have considerations, and so I was bidding it, and it really wasn't moving very much. And finally, when it started to get down closer to the end, it started to pick up, and it ended up between me and another guy. And so I put 4,000, he put 4,250. I put 4,500, he put 4,750. I put 5,000, he put 5,250. I put 5,400, he put 5,520. He must have had a reserve. A higher reserve. I put 5,525, and then it sold for 5,525. And I said, "My God, I want it." And I look, and the other guy got it because he had put the bid in prior to me putting my bid in. And if you have the same bid at the end of the auction, whoever put that bid in first wins. So my guess is the guy had $6,000 or a much more. He had a much higher reserve. He was going to get this book. And then I breathed a sigh of relief because my auction, trying to get this book, because I hadn't had a chance to really buy a nice one reasonably. And then this one really wasn't reasonable. And so then I got a hold. I asked around, and both Yaniv and Yaniv and Jordan, I asked both of them, and both of them hit me back. Yeah, I have that book. Well, of course they shared it. It was their book. So I asked Yaniv, and I got it for 4,000. What was it, Alan? 4,600 or something like that.
4,600.
I got it for 4,600, and they wanted, I think, was it 52 or 54? Was the listing, Alan? I think
No,
they
it's 55.
55, and I got it for 46. And I thanked them very much. And then Yaniv hit me. It took a while for him to hit me back, and I'm saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And he said, Steve, I won't be able to send your book out right away. My wife is in the process of having our first child. And I hit him back. I said, what the hell kind of a sleazy, crappy excuse is that?
Mm.
No, I didn't. And I said, God bless you, and I hope everything is fine. And their baby Ellie arrived, and mom is fine, and the baby's fine, and they're all fine, which is the most important thing. But then he sent it to me, and I got it. Got it a few days back, but I wanted to save it because I wanted to have this open and tell you the story of how I basically came to be. This it was the I've done a lot of history with comic books, but this was the first time that I really wanted to exert my love of history to try and find out about a character that I really liked. And at one point, I had all of the early Sandmans. I didn't have 40, but I had all the rest of them. And then when I sort of over the years, and they were very, very low grade copies, glued spines, they were at very dark pages. And I ended up selling those and buying Schomburg books, basically. And I never really put them back together again because I had them. And then, of course, I had the one really nice book. And so I said, well, I'm just going to hold off on that. And then finally, now this has occurred. And I have the book, and I have, as I said, I have my totem. And I'm very happy with this book. I'm very happy. It shows just beautifully. And it is, it's, I had to have this book in my collection.
We can do twinsies. Just one last thing. So yeah, you always have to have the better one, but it's okay. I'll forgive you. Yours is
I
really nice.
appreciate that. You will
Yeah,
also know
actually, your colors are better on yours again.
I'm all about the colors, as you know.
That's very
Alan,
nice.
you'll notice that your cover also is missing the 15-cent stamp above the 25 center.
Yeah, and
See,
it has like a little
and you
bit
have the
of
little
like
hairs.
something.
Yeah, and you have the little white somethings just the same as I do. You see, that's what happened. The little sticker fell off,
Yeah,
and
and
it took
then
a little bit of the color with it.
yeah.
So that is the I saved this one for last, and
Mhm.
what I will do now, since I have a lot to show, I thought what I would do is go back and show all the books, and
Okay.
then we can see what we're going to do, if we're going to wrap up or what we're going
Yeah,
to
we're
do.
gonna wrap up actually any moment.
Okay. All right. I will start with the raw books.
You don't have to show everything all over again, Stephen.
You don't want me to?
No, it's too much.
Okay, I won't.
Okay, good. Sorry, sorry. It's great stuff and all, but
All right. That'll do.
that's why they have to watch the whole video. They can't just watch the end. They have to watch the whole video.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
Thank
that.
you for having me on, Alan. I appreciate it, and I thank you for giving me the time to tell my story.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it was good. I was quiet that whole time just so that you could tell your story. I figured, let it go, let it be. Yeah.
It was really something very important, and like I said, I ended up becoming an advisor. And if you buy the price guide, I'm not a dealer, so I don't give prognostications. I basically
Mhm.
tell a lot
What
about
it is? Yeah.
how I view the market, and also things that I bought and why I bought them, and just to show and have fun.
Hmm. So, by the way, my wife comes home tonight.
Okay,
So yeah, so that's another thing. I have to clean up the house and prepare.
fair enough.
So, but yeah, we'll have an early show on Friday as
Okay,
well, like or similar time, like 7 my
all
time.
right.
Yeah. if you're down for that, and then
I'm down.
we'll invite everybody to attend. Anyone that wants, maybe Jerry will come on, and
That'll
a
be
few other
fun.
people. I'll invite everybody. Everybody's invited. It's a big
Thank you.
party.
All right.
And then on Saturday I'm gonna have a thingy too, so it'll be fun.
A thingy?
Um,
What's your thingy on Saturday?
it's my Kickstarter starts.
Oh God, yes, absolutely. I can't wait.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
You'll have images of stuff to show.
I
Can you
think
download some prints and basically show
I'm gonna
them?
see what I can do. I'm gonna maybe have to do it through my computer rather than through my phone.
Well, can't you? What I would recommend you do, I'll just say this: you have the images, print them down on high resolution on a piece of paper, and then basically put a backing board and put it in a mylar or whatever, and show it
Mhm.
so we can see what the books look like, and that way, then you have something to show.
Good idea. I'll consider that.
You'll
I'll con-
consider that.
yeah,
It's nice of you to consider. You're
I'll
very
print off
considerate.
a couple images. So I don't want to show the whole book, but I'll show a
No,
couple
no, no.
images.
And you have various covers, do you?
Yeah, so the way just so you know, the way the covers work, it's usually like the interior pinup becomes a cover. Do you know what I mean? Like so that's how they do it.
I dig.
Yeah, but yeah, and then there will be actually some that are just a specialty cover as well, but those will be rarer.
Well,
Um,
you want to put your best foot forward. I think this is a good way to set the hook, my friend.
yeah, I'll show the two that I'll actually print off two because they're actually quite sweet. One is the black cat, so that's one of the characters. So I'm trying to think of all the characters. So it's Black Cat.
Lady
Uh,
Luck, Miss Mask,
Miss Mask is in there.
Lady Luck.
Um, I don't think Lady. I'm not sure if Lady Luck made the. I don't. No, maybe she did. I think Lady. I'm just trying to remember what her pinup looks like. And then what's her name? Tara.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Tara, and then
the
Rula.
space pirate and
Yeah,
Rula. So
yeah,
show us a few. That
yeah,
way,
yeah,
then we know what we can get.
yeah, yeah. I'll show you a few. Okay, I'll print them off. I'll print something off and see what
That
happens.
sounds good.
Okay, so yeah, so thanks again for coming on, and we'll see each other on Friday. So bye
Sounds good.
everyone.
See you,
Bye
light.
everyone.
See you
Bye bye.
guys.